leads neatly on to what Jamie wanted to ask. So, Jamie, you were going to ask a question.
Yeah, I think, like some of my colleagues, I admit that I'm not from a crofting background or indeed a farming background. I'm a sort of town and city boy, but this has been absolutely fascinating. One of the themes that certainly comes through is that it seems that crofters know best, and that there's a general consensus that listening to people on the ground actually doing this seems to be quite important to us as committee members. That's something I'll certainly take forward over the next few weeks. It does lead nicely into looking at the future of how we approach policy. Yeah, as you're probably aware, that there's still a number of small landholders in Scotland who have the right to convert into a croft, although I'm interested to learn that none of them have done so to date. Also quite interested to see that some new areas have been added to the counties, some of them in my area, such as Arran and Cumbria. So I guess my question really, and it's to anyone, you don't need to go around the table necessarily because we're tight for time, is should we be looking at crofting law and small landholders policy together as part of a single strategy? And also, how can we attract new crofters into some of these new areas as well, such as those in my area?
I'm not seeing anyone jumping at that. So, Patrick, you're always first into the fray. If I could ask you to keep it brief again, but I think important points. Yeah.
Oh, now sorry. Now I'm thinking, how do I keep that brief? We find that a lot of the work that we do in the Federation benefits smallholders as much as crofters. So, but we were set up to represent crofters, and crofting is a regulated system, so it is fundamentally different from smallholding. How we encourage smallholders, or indeed people creating new crofts, to create them as crofts rather than small holdings, I would say the number one thing is to sort out the legislation so that it's simpler, because it actually is good legislation. It's just so complicated that it frightens people. And the purpose of crofting is threefold, really. One is to protect tenants, two is to protect landlords, and three is to protect the land. And so it is a good system that we believe smallholders should be attracted to and want to become part of a regulated system.